The World Strongman Circus once again moves to South Africa for the 1993 Hino World Mighty Man contest staged recently during the Rand Easter Show. This year's Hino Mighty Man attracted 9 entrants from 6 countries, including the defending champion Jamie Reeves and Gary Taylor of the United Kingdom, Manfred Hobel of Austria, Magnus Magnussen of Iceland, Ilkka Keninen of Finland, and Charling van der Bosch from the Netherlands. South Africa was represented by Gerrit Badenhorst, Mark Robinson and Wayne Price, all contenders in their own right. The first of the 9 events was the hand over hand, a test of strength and coordination against the clock. Each competitor has to pull a 4x4 weighing a mere 2 tons across 30 meters while remaining in a sitting position. Magnus Magnussen's time of 18.89 gives him 5th place in the hand over hand. South Africa's strongman Gerrit Badenhorst is up next and the clock is running. 10 points go to the winner of each event, so consistency is important. Good local support for Gerrit, and he manages a respectable 4th place with 18.40 seconds. Holland's Charling van der Bosch takes the rope next. He's got to beat Gerrit's time of 18.40. Charling weighs in at 160 kilograms, the heaviest contestant in this year's Hino Mighty Man contest. 18.28 seconds is good enough for 3rd place in the hand over hand and earns Charling 7 points. The bodybuilder from Austria, Manfred Hobel, takes the strain of the rope. Manfred claims the world's largest biceps at 65 centimeters. His time of 17.55 kicks off his score with 8 points and sets the pace for defending champion Jamie Reeves of England. Jamie did very well last year, setting a new record for this event. Jamie is 3 times Britain's strongest man and won the World's Strongest Man contest in 1989, and it's easy to see why. He's done it again, 17.3 seconds, beating Manfred into 2nd place. So the defending Hino Mighty Man leads after the first event. Now, on to something that most hitchhikers would identify with, the suitcase walk. The object is to carry an 86-kilogram weight in each hand as far as possible. Welshman Gary Taylor sets the early pace around the 60-meter course. Gary started his sporting career as an Olympic lifter and now keeps the man in the nick in good nick working as a physical instructor at Wandsworth Prison. His distance of 74.44 meters is good enough for 5th place and 5 points, giving him a total of 9. South Africa's Mark Robinson sets off next bearing the 172-kilogram load, and compatriot Wayne Price managed 74.1 meters, which put him in 6th position for this event. Mark is no stranger to heavyweight and was crowned World Powerlifting Champion in 1991. A distance of 81.90 meters puts Mark in 4th place for the event and gives him a total of 9 points. Ilkka Keninen of Finland gets the baggage next and sets off after Mark Robinson's target. If Ilkka looks a little familiar, it's because he's a TV star currently portraying Barbarian in the TV series The Gladiators. Ilkka just manages to hold on to score a distance of 82.2 meters. That gives him 3rd place and a total of 9 points. The battle in this year's Hino Mighty Man is on, with 4 contestants in joint 4th place with 9 points each. Jamie Reeves takes up the challenge next, having to beat Ilka's 82.2 meters. South Africa's Harry Badenhorst had to bail after just 58 meters due to an old elbow injury. Looks like Jamie is the one to beat in the suitcase walk. He's going all the way to the 84-meter mark. 84.2 meters is the distance set for Iceland's Magnus Magnuson. Magnus was third in the Hino Mighty Men last year and boasts the record of 5 successive Strongman titles in his native Iceland. You can see Jamie's mark, 75 meters, 80 meters, an incredible 87.26 meters for Magnus Magnuson, putting him in second place overall, behind Jamie Reeves with 15 points. Now the event that most of the contestants are dreading, the carry and drag. Carry a 100-kilogram tire across 30 meters and drag a 200-kilo monster on the return. Jamie takes the load. He's got Magnus's time of 40.78 seconds to beat. Jamie needs a good time here to stay ahead of the pack. Helped on by girlfriend Gillian, Jamie scored 7 points here for his third place in a time of 39.83 seconds. Wayne Price of South Africa was next to heft the 100-kilo tire. This is the easy beat. It's definitely no fun dragging a 200-kilo tire against gravity and friction. Wayne was South Africa's Strongman in 1991 and finished 6th in the Hino Mighty Men last year. This looks like a fast time, 38.6. That puts him in front for the carry and drag. Harry Badenhorst decided to take a rerun and try and better his time for this event. The time for his first attempt was 43 seconds, and Harry looks set to better that now. Each competitor may repeat only one event in the whole contest if he thinks he can do better. Harry managed to better his first time by 9 seconds, giving him a time of 34.17 and his first win of the Hino World Mighty Man. This is what the scoreboard looks like after 3 events in the Hino World Mighty Man. Still in the first place, Jamie Reeves of the UK with 25 points, followed by Magnus with 21 and Harry Badenhorst with 18 points. Gary and Charling share 4th place with 14 points apiece. With 6 more events to come, all the competitors have everything to go for. Event 4 in the Hino World Mighty Men held no surprises for the competitors, the truck pool. Take a 30-meter stretch of tar, add a harness attached to an 8-ton truck, sprinkle with muscle men and serve hot. With those ingredients, who needs chilies? This action is the hottest in town. Manfred Hobel of Austria set the early pace in this event. Manfred is suffering from a viral infection and spent the first night of the contest in hospital with dehydration. he still managed to set a good time of 32.73 to beat Ilka into 9th place. Magnus needs a good result here to keep his 2nd place overall. With muscles straining against 8 tons, there is no time to smile. 32.59 seconds, only just beating Manfred by a fraction. Mark Robinson takes up the strain and the race is on, with only a few seconds separating the time. Every second is vital. Mark is more accustomed to pushing weights than pulling trucks and can bench press 270 kilos. There is the line, 31.68 seconds, and 4 more points to add to his total. After finishing 2nd in last year's Hino World Mighty Man, Gary Taylor from Wales should be well prepared for this event. With a weight-to-weight ratio of 60:1, Gary and the truck are moving very well. A time of 30.89. That's something to smile about. Gerrit Badenhorst wasn't shy either and gave this one his best shot. With Magnus only scoring 3 points here, this would give Gerrit a chance to move up into 2nd place, but there is still a long way to go. These muscle men use the same amount of energy over 30 meters that sprinters do over 100 meters. Gerrit managed to shave 0.4 of a second off Gary's time with 30.41. That will give him an extra 6 valuable points. Now come the specialist in this type of event. Charlie van der Bosch is posted in the Guinness Book of Records with a successful attempt to pull 18 cars at once. That's almost 15 tons. Charlie definitely has the technique worked out, almost standing up against the harness. Being a Netherlander, he is suffering from the high altitude of the reef. 30.06 seconds and 3rd place in the truck pool will give Charlie's point standing a real boost. Another specialist in the pulling heavy things field is Wayne Price. Wayne has managed to pull a 96-ton train on rails for a distance of 17.5 meters. And as if that's not enough, he moved a 100-ton Boeing 707 over a distance of 20 meters. But when the stopwatch is running, the pressure is on. 30 seconds dead. That's good enough for 2nd place in the truck pool. A man that knows what pressure is all about, Jamie Reeves has a title to defend. He's got to beat Wayne's time if he hopes to stay out front in the Hino World Mighty Man. With girlfriend Gillian edging him on, Jamie has only one thing on his mind: move the truck. He's done it. 29.20 and 10 more points to his total. The log lift looks like to be a contest between the power lifters. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. Gerrit Badenhorst, Jamie Reeves and Magnus Magnussen were all there at the end. It was just a matter of how much to load onto the bar. After Jamie and Magnus both failed at 175 kilograms, it was all Gerrit's for the taking, but maybe easier said than done. After what must have seemed like ages, he managed to get the green light at 175 kilos to move up into second place overall. Event 6. The deadlift was up next and proved once again to be just too much for some. With a four-way battle developing between Gerrit, Magnus, Jamie and Mark, the points here would be hard-earned. Even though Magnus improved his own personal best by 35 kilos to 410, it just wasn't enough to stop Gerrit Badenhorst, who managed a lift of 430 kilograms and a smile to boot. This put South Africa's Gerrit Badenhorst firmly in second place, behind a fading Jamie Reeves from the UK, with Iceland's Magnus Magnussen still threatening in third. Gerrit was now within striking distance of the Hino World Mighty Man title. The final day of the Hino World Mighty Man contest at the rain show dawned cool and overcast, with the stones of strength to greet the competitors. Once again, the stopwatch was out to measure the superhuman efforts of these modern-day gladiators. Gary Taylor sets off to show the rest of the field how it's done. The object in the stones of strength is to load 5 round weights ranging from 90 to 140 kilograms in ascending order onto barrels. Looks easy, you say? Just watch this. That last one proved just too much for Gary, and he stopped the clock at 24.09 at the last stone. Only 4 of the strong men managed to complete the stones of strength, proving that this is no easy task. The first of these was Wayne Price. He managed to clock 34.46 seconds and scored 6 additional points for his efforts. Jamie Reeves needed to do well here to keep Gerrit and Magnus at bay. Both were slowly closing the gap on the points table. Jamie's time was half a second better at 33.99 seconds, with the Icelander and the 2 South Africans still to come. Mark Robertson set off at a good pace, showing perfect technique at hefting round objects almost shoulder high. The record for this event is held by Magnus, who managed to complete the test in under 20 seconds last year. The only thing to stand in Mark's way in bettering that record was a torn bicep muscle on the last weight. Bad luck, Mark. That will surely put him out of the contest. Herrick now had the bit firmly between his teeth and set off after the Englishman's time. With plenty of local support for Herrick, he managed an impressive 27.65 seconds. Not to be outdone, Magnus showed just how the stones of strength should be tackled. Just watch this man in action. Just under his own record, 20.57, and 10 more points to Magnus Third Magnussen. With 2 more events to go and only 5 points separating the top 3, it's anyone's title. The car roll looked like a lot of fun from the sideline. What you'd like to do to the guy who parks you in at the rugby match. The cars weigh between 650 and 850 kilograms, and the contestant who rolls them over in the shortest time wins. Simple. Gary wasted no time. That looks like the time to beat, 17.49 seconds. With the stopwatch running, Jamie puts his shoulder into the task. That time wasn't fast enough, 18.15, which puts him in 4th place for the car roll. Jamie can feel that Hino Mighty Man title slipping away with every second. Magnus has a chance here to pull back a few points on the leader. With Fiancé Asta in full cry, he manages a respectable 15.99 seconds. And that adds another 8 points to his total. Herrick can almost taste victory in this year's Mighty Man. All he needs to do is roll over 3 cars and he's there. The man from Bloom does it in 14.80 seconds. That puts him in the lead by just half a point from Jamie Reeves. And not to be outdone, the ladies show that the Hino Mighty Man is just a piece of cake after all, although it did take 3 to prove it. After 8 grueling events, the toughest must be the barrel load. Loading 5 100-kilo barrels onto a shoulder-high truck against the clock. This event proved to be the straw that broke the camel's back, with Jamie not managing to lift even a single barrel. Magnus, however, was still in the running and only 4.5 points behind Herrick. With Fiancé Asta signaling victory in just over 44 seconds. Gary wasn't showing the fatigue and tried to make up for Jamie's exhaustion by completing the task in 36.68 seconds, leaving the way open for South Africa's Gerrit Badenhorst. Herrick tackled the task with the enthusiasm of a long-distance runner who could see the finishing line. The crowd could sense victory and urged him on. He needed only 25.5 seconds to complete the final test and become the 1993 Hino World Mighty Man. A well-deserved victory that ends in £5,000 sterling. Magnus Thor Magnusson of Iceland finished second, with an exhausted Jamie Reeves in third place. An exciting end to a tough and strenuous contest.